let's get this show on the road. Hey everyone on YouTube, this is your friendly neighborhood Eldritch Abomination and Abyssian, here to show you all a new game that well, it's not exactly a new game, it's a pretty damn old game, but it's an old game that I love and I haven't played for a while, so here we go. The game is Salt and Sanctuary. Think about what would happen if Castlevania Symphony of the Night and Dark Souls had a kid. This would be that kid. Similar to most Souls-like, you can customize a character, customize their stats, go with crazy-ass weapons, and same as Castlevania, there's 2D physics, platforming, and real-time 2D combat. So I'm going to name my character Raziel in honor of the vampire turned revenant in The Legacy of Kain. And here we go. For his sex, I'm going to keep him male. And for his hair, I personally think anti-mane looks good. So let's go with that. And for the hair color, let's make it Stardust. That looks very nice and ethereal. And for the class, I'm going to go with a cleric. I personally think the cleric has the best chance of surviving if you want to have a pretty decent time through the game. I'm going to make him a faith and dexterity character, focusing on scythes and utilizing a firearm along with miracles, or as they're called in this game, prayers. And honestly, I think the cleric is the best way to start with this because he has access to light armor and miracles. So let's get this started. The world has known war for centuries, but peace is finally, preciously near. We deliver the princess to the kingdom across the sea, where a marriage alliance would save us. Failing this would plunge us into darker days. And now I'm going to mess with the audio mixer. I'm going to lower it a teeny bit so that you can hear my voice better, because I noticed that with the Dark Souls playthrough, it was insanely loud on the gameplay end. Oh, and my little puppy is here. My very inquisitive little chihuahua named Zuma. Such a sweetheart. So, right now, I'm playing as a cleric. With cleric, you start with a mace, or a shield and dagger. I'm going to stick with a mace because it deals more damage. And the gear you have is the cleric set, along with a mace, which is a hammer, as well as a blessed page, which I just accidentally used. And the miracle called Mend. We've been boarded in the night, erg. They'll want to kidnap our lady, ow, and ransom her. Time to do what we do best. Kick ass, take names, chew bubblegum. Sad way I'm out of bubblegum. Yeah, these pirates invaded the ship, are trying to ransom over the princess. I don't even know why I'm doing this. You don't have to fight the pirates. I'm just going to avoid them. So, the main boss in this area is a gigantic kraken monster. And to make the fight go smoother, I'm going to remove some of my equipment, so that you can fast roll along with dealing damage. Now, the Unspeakable Deep is a boss. Strategy for him is pretty simple. Just roll behind him while moving towards him when he's about to attack, and smack with your weapon. Rinse and repeat until dead. I, for one, love the cleric for this, because his weapon deals decent damage, along with him having a buff that this boss is weak to. So, secret to bosses like the Unspeakable Deep is just don't panic. If you think that he's about to hit hard, just try and roll behind him. Sadly, with this guy, just about any hit he does is going to be an insta-kill. So, that's why I removed this guy's shirt, so that he can fast roll while dealing decent damage. Buff. Okay. That was close. Something. If that tackle hit me, it would have been an insta-kill. Thankfully it didn't, though. And with that, the Unspeakable Deep is down. Oh, I missed all the gold that he dropped. Oh well. I got all the important stuff, though. So, failing this mission will surely plunge us into darker days. I awoke to the sound of waves washing against a rock. I must save the princess. And here we are into the island. I'm going to mess with the audio mixer a bit just to see what I can do here, and let's go over here. Okay, I killed the desktop audio a bit more. Hopefully that doesn't obstruct anything. And here we are on this unknown island called the Shivering Shore. Now, as unorthodox as it may be, for a cleric, you're very much recommended to go with the Devora creed because they have good miracles, but I'm going to forego that for the moment and instead go with the iron ones. Okay, just want to make sure that's not too loud. And here we are. So this gentleman's going to ask us about what religion we belong to. Tell me, do you keep the new gods? No, not necessarily. You don't keep the new gods. Rare. So are you a pilgrim of Devora? Your sort has been dying out for centuries, I'm afraid. Not necessarily. No. Do you uphold no god at all? You're either brave, foolish, or from the north. You don't look particularly brave, and you don't look particularly foolish either. Are you a mountain smith? Let's just say that I am. Men from the mountains of the north from the continents of Mokdor are the Iron Ones. They believe in no gods, believing instead in the iron will of man. They love steel, but detest magic. Are you a member of the Iron Ones, then? Yes. Yes, I am. Except this metal icon. And that is a symbol of our creed. Yeah, apparently there are zombies here. And there we have the sanctuary key. These bottles show things like tutorials. Press R1 to use an equipped item, like this red shard. It heals a small amount of health. Use the control pad to switch items. And you press the left bumper, in this case, to swap between weapon loadouts. Here we go with the sanctuary key. And let's pop this in. And there we are. Now, the sanctuary is a little bit sparse, but that's normal. As you venture through the game, you find stone effigies of people that can help you along the way, such as shopkeepers, blacksmiths, clerics, magi. Basically, anyone that can teach you skills or sell you equipment, like in Dark Souls, you can employ in your sanctuary. Now, the reason why I chose the Iron Ones as opposed to Devora's Light, even though I'm starting as a cleric, is because the Iron One, I believe, is the best creed to start with. You have access to some pretty good weapons, you have access to very good ammo and items that you can use to fight enemies, and the best part is, going with the iron ones early isn't really all that bad, because in the next two areas after this starting area, you can find members of the other starting covenants in the two succeeding areas after this. So if I wanted to, say, switch to the 3, I could switch to the 3 and still keep the iron ones in my starting sanctuary, because there is a sanctuary that you can find to be a member of the iron ones if you didn't start as them, but you don't reach that sanctuary until literally halfway through the game, so I'd rather just start with this early. And those are enemies that you face. They include dogs, berserkers, and one thing that I forgot to do is that you can level up at the Creed without spending any of the items for the points. I'll show you in the inventory. Go all the way here to materials. That is where the hammer is, and you have the Black Pearl. The Black Pearl is an item that you use to gain abilities. I started with the Amber Idol. You use the Amber Idol to transmute materials. And from beating the Unspeakable Deep, you get a Drowned Tome, which you use to upgrade, I believe it's Kraken equipment. You get a Shimmering Pearl, which is used in transmutation, and a Black Pearl, and 8,000 salt. So, what I'm going to do before I finish everything here is I'm going to go back to the starting area. But first I'm going to open up some shortcuts so that it'll be easier for me to get back here. So, yeah, the good thing about starting with a cleric, he has a decently powerful weapon, being a mace, as well as a dagger. Mace is pretty good against the boss in this area, because the boss in this area is called the Sodden Knight. He is a gigantic warrior that has drowned, and he has the ability to electrify the area. And the good thing about starting as a cleric is I already start with the light armor unlocked, so this equipment is practically better in every way than my starting equipment. It's lighter, has good resistance against poison, and I can immediately equip it. And there we have a ring called the... Ooh. Begone, spawn of Satan. Over there we have a ring, the bandaged ring. So for the cleric, you start with the Crystal Mount ring. Mind and body are inherently linked, but wise practitioners of mindfulness are able to form ethereal motes of spirit, effectively compromising the effects of mental and physical tasks. Have the focus use on fatigue. And here we have the bandage ring. It reduces the wounding effect. Wounding is a feature in this game where the more damage you accumulate, it basically gradually cuts into the health bar, as you can see above. And fatigue is basically the same thing, but it goes as you use the stamina. And your stamina bar is used both as you use magic and as you fight enemies. And as you've seen me do multiple times, if you hit enemies enough, you can weaken them. And once weakened, you can instantly kill them by pressing the action button, in this case, the B button, as I'm playing this on an Xbox controller. And with that action button, you can curb stomp the enemy and kill them instantly. And over here I found a stone blacksmith and a small red pouch. And that small room there is a small shrine. Shrines are similar to sanctuaries in that you can rest them and heal up, but you can't level up at them or put in NPCs to help you in the area. It's basically just a rest stop. Usually this is put in place in dungeons when you're close to fighting a boss, as is the case here. Ah, wonderful. That dog just bit me while I was in the middle of curb stomping his friend. Yeah, in Dark Souls you get immunity every time you do a critical attack, and in this game you get immunity when you do a critical attack as well. but the insta-kills aren't considered a critical hit. They are a completely separate attack, so you don't get that nice little bonus. And the main reason why I unlocked this shortcut is because I won a ton of salt from the Unspeakable Deep. And I'm going to go back to my sanctuary and spend them to level up. Basically, every sanctuary has different healing items and effects. So, my main strat for this is, since I want to go with a miracle and dexterity build, I'm going to first get the starting sanctuaries that I need in order to get good equipment. In this case, it's going to be the iron ones. Then I'm going to join another creed later on called the Stone Roots. And then I'm going to join a creed called Devora's Blessing, and that's going to be my main creed. The reason why I'm doing that is because the iron ones start out with some pretty good starting equipment and buffs. Devora's Light has the best miracles that you can find, and the Stone Roots offer poison equipment so that I can both use miracles, cause damage over time, as well as buff my equipment. So let's level up right now. I'm going to put all of this into leveling up. Okay, I can get what it looks like. How many levels is that? I start out at 4, all the way up to 14, 10 levels. Wonderful. And now we go here to the Tree of Skill, where I can learn certain abilities. For right now, let's go with Endurance, Strength, get +1 Poultice Pouch, that's your healing item, Wisdom, a File Sleeve. File Sleeves restore your focus. Okay. And let's stop there for now. And the good thing about the Cleric is I start with both a light armor as well as miracles. So that means I can very easily migrate from light armor to being a class 1 marksman. And with a class 1 marksman, I can use crossbows and pistols. I can also add to my willpower, which I'm going to do. Okay, even though I have no intention of becoming a hunter, I'm going to get this, just so that I can start getting the weapons that I want. The main weapon I want for this character is a scythe, and the scythe is in the same group as spears and halberds, which is pikemen. So, two-hand clasp, Class 1, pole axes, spears, and reapers gain 1 point of dexterity. Okay, so one nice thing I like about this game is that they include a lot of very nice flavor text for all the different spots on the skill tree. So you have here, Aldrich donned the magnificent black metal plate, fastening the heavy metal belt over his blue quilted surcoat. He slipped on his large hands into the articulated metal gauntlets, placed the helm upon his head, and hoisted his halberd upon his shoulder. The Crimson Quell, paragraph 1. And here we have Sword Fighter. This increases your strength and allows you to use swords. Having reached accord with the 16 knights, no banner were ready to embark on their quest. Oh, I'm sorry, I misread that. Having reached accord, the 16 knights of no banner were ready to embark on their quest. But first, a symbolic gesture would occur. Annals of the Garrismen. For class 1 cleric, you have most clerics of Devora were esteemed as the mother of all gods. Or, I'm sorry, in most circles, I misread that, the print is very small. In most circles, Devora was esteemed as the mother of all gods, commanding the greatest shrines and the most devoted clerics. In the time of the lesser gods, the old pantheon fell in stature, and the vast majority of codified old pantheons worshipped simply fell under the umbrella known as Devora's Light. So basically, Devora's Light is apparently this very ancient and very long-lasting religion of clerics, where they became clerics as well as battlemen. And for right now, I'm going to put some armaments, some NPCs in this area. I put in a merchant so that I can buy some equipment, such as, for example, a shock stone, a grenade. The equipment here is pretty good. Basically, you have the red shard that causes minor healing over time. The Brionne fire pot, you throw it at enemies and it deals fire damage. The pitch fire and the shock stone buff your weapons. Pitch fire buffs it with fire, shock stone buffs it with electricity. Then here you have arrows and flame arrows as well as bolts. Arrows are ammunition for bows and bolts are ammunitions for crossbows. You also have flintlock, which is used for pistols, an amazing weapon type if I say so myself. And you also have glowing shot. This glowing shot is capable of being fired from pistols and it deals electric damage. You have the torch, you have a pouch of salt, and you have the dragon's tooth. The dragon's tooth is a throwing dagger which you throw to deal fire damage. It's pretty good. So I'm going to talk to them. I ended up on a merchant ship I was wrecked on. Fell somewhere in the sea. So this bastard was shipwrecked, and here we have a blacksmith. Let's chat with him. I don't remember getting on this island, but what I do remember is smithing, and that is what I do. With the blacksmith, you can buy and upgrade equipment. Personally, the equipment that I have right now is pretty good. So, I'm good there. He says keep your wits. And this is nice. This person is a cleric. The cleric teaches you prayers as well as sells you items, including a war horn. A war horn is an item that you get from the cleric in the iron ones. I'm going to buy one or two just to show. And the cool thing about the war horn is, as you lose stamina from fatigue, you blow the war horn and it causes you to regain the stamina. Also, underneath my stamina is my focus. Focus is used to cast magic. When you get file sleeves, which are the mana increasing items, like this blue crystal, I want to show you how this works. So I have the Miracle Mend. Let's cast it, and as you see, both my stamina as well as my mana went down. And if I cast it too many times, the mana gauge depletes completely, and now it's completely red, and I can't use any more magic. And my stamina is cut pretty heavily. But with this blue crystal, I break it, and I get back some mana, as well as some stamina. So that's good. Now I'm going to venture back to where that small shrine is, so I can rest there and get ready for the boss fight. And one good thing about the Drowned Berserkers is that they drop some pretty good items. They drop, as you saw there, the fire pot, which is the throwable fire weapon. They can also drop some bodily remains that I can use to increase my rank in creeds. So in this game, similar to Dark Souls, in the creed that you're in, which is like the Covenants in Dark Souls, you can turn in items, get a higher rank, and get rewards. In the case of Salt and Sanctuary, the rewards are healing and usable items, as well as... So the rewards are healing and usable items, as well as items that you can use to buff yourself. So in this case, I equipped the fire pot. Good. I was also considering playing this as a pauper. A pauper is one of the starting jobs that has absolutely no skills whatsoever. You basically play as a peasant who has two weapons at his disposal, an axe, as well as a pitchfork. The pitchfork is used as a spear, the axe is an axe, and you fight that way. But I decided to go with the cleric because I thought that this would make the experience a little bit smoother. So let's go into the boss fight. The boss fight is the Sodden Knight. He's weak to blunt, fire, and electricity. Oh, I missed with that. he also can use an electric attack. Let me show you how weak he is to electricity. That's some good damage. Yeah, I honestly don't know how he uses electricity like that. Maybe he was shipwrecked for so long and he had so much salt building up in his armor that he built up electricity. I honestly have no idea. Anyway, the cleric makes this fight a cakewalk. Because he's weak to blunt damage, and he's also weak to electric damage. Oof, he hit me there. So in his second phase, he links together attacks. Like how he linked together those electric attacks. Ugh, that one only did partial damage. Come on, you salt-covered shithole, just die. And down goes the Sodden Knight. So for right now, there are two areas I can go. I can go down to the Village of Smiles, and I can go down to the Watching Woods. For right now, I'm going to go to the Village of Smiles first. And then the Walking Woods. Oh. Wonderful. That berserker just killed me. Not the end of the world. Thankfully, the cleric that revived me popped me back out here. So let's go back in there and get my gear again. Don't really want Let's throw a potato at that guy. The potato is a pretty weak sauce. Throwable item. Doesn't deal that much damage, but these two are so annoying. You know what? I need to get to higher ground. I need to heal. I need to bash the ever-loving crap out of these guys. There we go. Now for the dog. Just need to wait for him to get closer, and he is dead. So I was considering farming him to get those, but to get more fire pots, but wouldn't be worth it. Let's use the fortress key that the knight dropped, and let's go out here. And here we have the Masterless Knight. He looks like your stereotypical Ronin, except he's not using a katana, he's using a halberd. He seems friendly, so let's talk. Greetings, traveler. Do you have a quest? Yes, I'm searching for a shipwrecked princess. Rescue the princess? I haven't seen any princesses, but don't lose hope, friend. Anyway, it's good to have a quest. Would you like to know what my quest is? Sure. Excellent! My quest is to invade a castle to the east, defeat its guardians, and slay the dragon. Castles must be invaded, and dragons must be slain, must they? Someone's been reading a little too much Don Quixote. Let's talk to him again. Getting to this castle is a different story. There's a bridge, but it's missing pieces. There's another way in, but it's not easy. I saw a passage beneath the fortress you just emerged from. Perhaps it leads to a village of sorts. There's a shortcut connected to the beach to that village, but it's barred. Perhaps you can unlock it? I've heard something about a jester. A jester knows a way to get to places that others can't. It's easy to claim something, but unless you can back up your claims, you're just a rumor monger. Agreed. Here we have a black pearl. After beating bosses, you usually find black pearls, which are the level up material, as well as getting a ton of salt. Here's a message left by someone. Oh no, this is the developer message. Down and A to jump down short platforms, and here we have a pitchfork. which is the equipment of the popper. I'm going to run with the pitchfork for right now. It's a pretty good weapon. Use secret right. So that's a message left by a player. You stand next to it, interact with it, press A. Hold on, OBS is giving me a message about skipped frames. Okay, what can I do? Okay, I have some other applications that are gumming up my CPU. That's probably why I have so many missing frames. Let's kill that, the troubleshooter. Oh, now I know why I'm missing so many frames. I have too many apps open. Okay, hopefully that goes by a little bit smoother. Anyway, let's open this up again and run Salt and Sanctuary. So down here, it appears to be a shortcut to another area. That gate is blocked and I can't enter from this side, so let's just ignore that. Over here is the Bandit's Pass. Over here is Devora's Light. The Creed I plan on joining long term, but not at the moment. Let's just leave for right now and let's talk to this cleric. Hello, traveler. Are you a stranger to Devora's Light? No, I know of it. So you've heard of the goddess Devora. We are taught by her to respect those of other faiths, so you are welcome here. Of course, it's Devora's wish that all should find salvation in her bosom. You can pray to her at the earthen vessel. The water she pours will cleanse the shadows of your heart. Those who do not follow Devora are still welcome. We will see to it that you can rest and resupply. So yeah, the cleric of Devora. Basically, with some creeds you're an apostate, and with some creeds they will deal with you even if you're an apostate, others don't. In this case, that cleric won't have any dealings with me because I'm an apostate to her faith. At least I think she's a he. I mean a she. Her gear has a bit of a feminine curve to it. I mean, hey, if anything, the Creed of Devora is more egalitarian than most, it seems. That was annoying. Okay, over there we have a bolt and a crossbow. Crazy center crushing. Indeed. Okay, oh, those bottles vanished. Basically, long story short, those bottles are telling you of hidden platforms that are up here. Here you jump up, there's a stone guide. Jump further up and further up and further up and further up, and there's more stuff here, such as a light vessel. Oh. That's gonna leave a mark. A light vessel is a throwing item similar to the grenade and to the fire pot. It's filled with holy water. You throw it at zombies, and it deals a ton of damage to the undead. Good strategy for these guys, spacing, because these marauders throw axes at you. Get over here. Get down here. Get down here. I think now's a good time to take a sip of that. Devora's Light has some good perks to it. It has access to the best prayers in the game. It also has access to some very good... It also has access to some of the best Creed exclusive healing items. I am not dying to these guys today. Excuse me while I take a swig. You know what? Eat holy water, you marauding fucks. Okay, dead, dead, and dead. Let's up Mend another time. I don't have that much stamina, but it'll do for right now. Let's jump. Jump, and thankfully I had some invulnerability from that. And here we have the Raider set. Let's check to see how the Raider set compares to the Rogue set. Okay, Raider set, ironically for being heavy armor, is lighter. It doesn't have as good defenses though. There are no gloves, so I'll just stick to those. And there we go. Now I look like bootleg Russian Conan the Barbarian. And over here we have a poleaxe. Let's see if I can equip that. It says that I can. Yeah, I don't have sufficient stats to wield that properly, so let's go back to our pitchfork and let's try this two-handed, because I believe that if you don't have the stats to use a weapon one-handed, yes, you can still use it properly if it's two-handed, so there we go. So here's some equipment, joined coif and chained gauntlets. Fascinating. There is an elevator that I can't access from this side, and if I drop down there, it will surely cause my death. So, let's not mess with that. And oh hey, it's that elderly man from before. Well, well, well. Looks like this is the end of the road for you, friend. If memory serves me right, the obelisk here is the door to the castle. The key, however, now that is quite a different story. Perhaps you should search below in those seaside ruins, where a forgotten feast festers. I think it always helps to go back to the start. But you started off this island. Can't go back there, can you? Okay, so I'm going to call this video quits for now. We have some insight, we have some items, and I'll go explore the next side area. Over to the next area where you find the other starting creed. I will make another video like this come Tuesday. So until then, everyone, have a good day. Ta-ta.